Hey guys, welcome back to part two of my conversation with Dr. Bobby. And today we are going to talk about menopause. Yes, the big M word. We are going to break it apart. And Dr. Bobby is going to tell us ladies exactly what we need to do, what we should be doing if we are not already doing that. And he's going to break down that big old M word, menopause, so that we know what needs to be done for us to stay healthy during this time and phase of our life. So I will see you on the inside with real talk with the continuation of part two with Dr. Bobby. I'll see you there. I mean, you're very passionate about this work. Anyone who's listened to this can tell. What do you like best about doing this kind of work, and what is like frustrating and probably unfavorable for you
Mhm.
as a doctor doing this
No.
kind of work?
It's a great question. So the passion, it comes from saving lives. It's allowing people to be here longer than they would have if one, I had met them or they had met me or we haven't had the conversation or they hadn't got help. The thing that's frustrating on the opposite side, you have individuals that don't have support. So, meaning they have access, they'll show up at the doctor, they have their insurance card. But if you have a certain age or have a disability, it is difficult to get around or confusing if there's a cognitive issue there to get to the doctor to get help. That is probably the most frustrating because you can't be there and help everyone physically, have a family member or friend to show up and be at the appointments
Mhm.
and be there on time and have what's needed so that the doctor, clinician, or clinical team can help the person. That is probably the hardest because
Mhm.
some of this stuff can be made easier, made better.
Mhm.
But if they're not there showing up or compliant at home with the therapy or the medications, that can be, and I've seen that happen. From missed appointments to for someone not being there to take them. The patient was ready, but just couldn't get there, didn't know how to navigate. Even if you sent the Uber to them to figure out where to, so all of those barriers can be there. So that is the frustrating part on it. But then you have those um, that can be of service to help those.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that's where the hope for that group comes in. And say, I don't have any money to help you, but I can go to the appointment with you, or I may not can stay there with you, but I can drop you off, and get you to the doc, or I can just pick you up on the back end. So all of those things, I can pick up your medication if you need me, or sort them in the pill box if you need me to do it. So those are the things that family and friend and community can help. But that is one of the most frustrating part of when there is help and there's medication and therapies and all of that access that we have here in this country that is wonderful. But
Mm.
the person never makes it there to get it for whatever reasons or combination of reasons. So, but that's a good question, and I hope that we can get
Yeah.
better, with that. With
Absolutely. It sounds sad. Like you said, just not having, like you said, maybe that's just the right support to get them there. That's sad.
yeah,
You wanting to help and you just can't reach out to get it. It's sad, but yeah, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Wow.
but we
Yeah.
can do better as a community and certainly as a country. With putting certain clinics closer to people, to get there. One of the things that did now a lot of the insurance will pay for Ubers for those that cognitively know how to get there and they can get it. But someone that needs an assistant or an aide, they would still have to have that to do it. But I was happy when I found out insurance companies, oh yeah, they'll pay for Ubers and Lyft for them to get there and back. Yes,
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. That helps a
it
lot of people.
does. It absolutely does. But they have to
Wow.
be aware that it's there, and hopefully their insurance company will have it, and they know the technology, how to set it up. Because for some, that technology barrier hinders a lot
Challenge.
of people, even younger people. Some, for that too. So we have to be able to help in that area as well.
Absolutely. You're talking about younger people. I'm technology challenged half the time. Are you kidding? It's hard for me sometimes, much less.
Me
I'm telling
too.
you.
I'm there with certain stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but as it continues to be part of our norm,
Hmm.
it becomes a little bit easy and we have to do it. So, I go to my doctors and they're in this amazing like artsy, like new age Jetson-esque type of building.
Yeah.
And no one talks to you anymore, right? So you have to check in on the computer kind of thing. And now you can put your hand and it hovers over your hand and it read. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, how are these senior citizens doing this stuff?
Yeah.
But they're doing it. They're
And
getting
it's a
it
challenge,
and
you
they're
know.
doing it. Yes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they're doing it. So I'm like, okay, that's awesome. They're doing it. It's wild. No one talks to you anymore. You just go up and you just start pressing numbers and take a seat and they'll call you. And you're like, oh my God,
Hmm.
no human beings involved.
None.
Okay.
None.
I like to
Yeah.
talk to people. I'm a people person. So that's hard for me.
Yeah, and a lot of people do find that different, in going. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I do them both. I
Mhm.
like to, just get in. Hey, just put my number and let me sit down. So
Yes.
that way, I don't have to announce everything, my personal information,
Yes.
or so
Yes.
it
Yeah.
helps in that way. But then it also helps keep you savvy as to the things that are changing in terms of certain technologies
Correct.
in the medical field in terms of how patients present and interact with that. There's a different side, on the research side, of
Mhm.
it, whole different technologies that are there. But to see how patients navigate that too, uh,
Mhm.
some I've been there, I'm sure you have too. Okay, I can help you do this, and they appreciate that,
Yes, they do.
of doing
They
it. So
do.
we have
Mhm.
to be what is that, resourceful and available to
Yes.
help them when we can. But
Yes.
yes.
Yes, they're getting it. I'm proud of them, honestly. I was like, you go, girl. There she got it. All right. They're doing it. They're definitely doing it. What aspects of your life, Dr. Valerie, is in progress and what's next for you on this journey? You what are you doing next? I feel like you're doing big things and I feel like you will be continuing to do big things, but what's like next on the trajectory for you?
Oh, another great question too. So the very next thing is really to open up what I was explaining as the consulting part for um, our normal lay people here that are dealing with these cancers and things like that,
Okay.
because that is such a huge need, and I'm not at the level where I need to be. I need to get people to help me do some things, some technology people to help me with some website stuff. So that's the thing I'm going to be working on this year, is to
Okay.
get that up and running on there. But then the next thing uh, is to, and this has always been there, of trying to figure out a platform way to merge our functional side and a holistic side. And
Mm-hmm.
for those that don't know about that, it's the wholeness or wellness side and
Mm-hmm.
the medical side, because there is room for both at the table.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do I mean by that? So, for catching many of the conditions and diseases early,
Mm-hmm.
holistic stuff will really work well.
Mm-hmm.
It will, get your GI aligned. It'll take some toxins out, whether you're doing the foot soak or whether you're doing the sauna stuff,
Mm-hmm.
colonics. There's a number of different things that you can do on the maintenance level and early condition disease to fight it. But at some point, if you present at the emergency room with a doctor, late stage three, you're going to need some surgery, radiation, and chemo
Okay.
most of the time at that point to get it where the holistic side could approach it. So that would be ideal,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that there are natural ways
Mm-hmm.
of treating the body through, and I say plants, the root, the bark, the leaf, whether
Yes.
you boil it, whether you bake it, whether
Mm.
you open it up and eat it. We have those above land and we have those below water.
Yes.
So I think,
Mm.
and I hope that someday I'll be in position to be able to put a team of physicians, scientists together. Look what we worked at, from the shrubs in Africa versus
Mm-hmm.
the lilies that grow in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to put these things together to
Mm-hmm.
be able to treat many of the conditions, and many of those I believe fall behind the pathogens that exist out there. Mold, huge one.
Mhm.
We know viruses can cause cancer, human
Mm.
papillomavirus, so we know that their viruses can do it. And so people are asking, okay, well, can bacteria do the same thing? Or can certain other pathogens in the body that leave their poop and eggs and stuff, can that over time build up and cause conditions that then change how the body responds? And so science has to work with that to continue to show or rule in or rule out or explain how it does or how it doesn't. But that would be I guess, the next big chapter that I
Mhm.
would love to approach, having the right funding, right team,
Mhm.
and we're able to save lives and help people. Because the Garden of Eden thing, I believe in. I believe that it was there, and because vegetation was there, then
Mhm.
that's where, to me, many of our treatments are going to come from, or the plants, the
Mhm.
leaf, the bark, the root, fruit.
Interesting. Are you a vegan by any chance?
I go in and out. I listen to the body.
Okay.
So when the body says, don't eat meat, I don't eat it. When it says, okay, eat turkey, eat chicken, then I do that.
As long as it's lean.
Those are the things. Yeah. I stay away from the red meat. And the only reason why I do, because for me, blood type A people, it takes too long to break down red meat. And so therefore it stays in too long, and I don't like that. So that's why I do the other things. But I listen to, when it says eat chocolate, I eat chocolate. When it says don't
Okay.
do it, so I listen to that, and that has helped me, I guess,
Mm.
since 95, 96, to have a healthy diet,
Mhm.
because you listen when it says, mm-mm. Like if I don't get enough water, my eyebrow will jump. Oh, you need to drink water. So those
Mm.
clues and cues, we have to take note of what that means to us. Someone else's eyebrow jumping may say, "Oh, you need more fruit." So, but it's there for us to guide us. That
Correct.
little voice that's telling us not to do to do. We learn
Correct.
to listen to it. Yes.
Well, you're talking about food, and that's a whole journey in itself. But talking about other cultures, like the Asian culture,
Hmm.
where they don't do a lot of meat. They do a lot of herbs and plants and all of that, the barks and the underground and all of that stuff. And if you do the research, they don't have the diseases that we have out here in the West. They don't have that type of stuff as prevalent as
Yeah.
we do here in the West. And they eat really natural food, plant-based mainly, to be honest,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
healthier. So that says something to me,
And
you
it's a
know.
huge thing, and you're right on
Mhm.
how we grow the foods, how we prepare the foods,
Yes,
how fresh they are when we get them. Things,
exactly.
all of that is in there as well.
Mhm.
But the one thing that they also doing, that I think we would benefit from doing that, is
Mhm.
get food as fresh as we can.
Mhm.
You know, that getting for the day's food thing. And I know it's troublesome for some people to have to go to
Yes.
school every day in the city part and pick up kids and get to practices and all of this stuff and choir rehearsals. And it can happen, but that would be one of the better ways of getting as fresh as you can,
Yeah.
because that does mean a lot with how it's processed in the body,
Mhm.
absorbed,
Mhm.
eliminated. It makes a difference with that. It's not anything that we can't do here. You know,
Correct.
it's absolutely doable. In certain regions, small towns, places like that, you
Mhm.
can get fresh, you know,
Mhm.
meat every day, whether that's fish, poultry, whatever. You can
Right.
get fresh vegetables every day. There are markets popping up all over. So it does make a difference. And if people want to try to see what happens, I always do things on a 30-day whatever. So if
Yes.
I stop doing something, let me just do 30 days and see what happens with it,
Mhm.
and see how that changes
Mhm.
my diet, my stomach, my
Mhm.
absorption, my
Mhm.
energy level.
Mhm.
So I look at all of those things over a 30-day window to
Mhm.
see, okay, yes, push on or change just a little bit because of that. But it makes a difference if people were to do that. So that's a great question, and notice that they are healthier. And when they come to our diets, they what tend to pick up conditions and illnesses that we have here when they leave that traditional diet. We've seen that on the Native American reservations,
Yeah,
that as well. So yes, that exists.
absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about menopause.
Hmm.
I tell the ladies, hey, take your time and sit down and listen to this conversation. What should women be doing during that phase of their life?
So what that is,
Mhm,
it actually happens over a number of years with perimenopause
mhm,
when fertility is on the decline. And there's a number of things that happen with the body, particularly, and I want to say the ages, 49 to 53, I think
mhm,
is the real window that occurs. But a lot of physiological changes that happen. So one of the first ones that happens is the decrease in estrogen over time. So estrogen starts, and then about age 40, it peaks, and then it starts to decline over time. But what the body is still needing and craving is estrogen. And
mhm,
so the big thing that happens, oh, menopause, that happens, and the hot flashes that come. But there's a lot of stuff that's packed into menopause
mhm,
that happens. So one of the things that happens with menopause, besides the decrease in estrogen and the hot flashes, is that what you have in the brain section is that you have a depletion of the white matter. The white matter of the brain starts to decrease over time. Three-fourths of the women that have dementia, I mean, I'm sorry, three-fourths of our dementia cases are,
mhm, mhm,
and these women are the caretakers as well for other women and other men that have it. So cardiovascular disease is another thing that increases. Diabetes is another thing. Osteoporosis. These things all increase during that time. And if women are not aware of what's happening to their body, you have hair thinning as well. You have weight gain that accompanies all of that. So a lot of fluctuation in hormone, but there is help for that too. There are physicians that target and treat women during menopause. And so they'll typically do an evaluation, do a hormone evaluation, call you in because these are real symptoms
mhm,
that the anxiety that comes in, the depression that's associated with that too, fluctuation of hormones, blood sugar. So a lot of busyness that's taking place that is absolutely real and critical. And so we know that women present differently from men with different diseases. So having going through menopause uh, and this can happen early in women as well. It doesn't
mhm,
necessarily have to happen in their mid to late 40s. It can occur early,
mhm,
but getting to someone that can identify and treat the symptoms because not every woman is going to present with hot flashes. There are
mhm,
women who never had a hot flash in their life, but there was some weight gain. And so one of the treatments is an estrogen-based, plant-based estrogen that has done
mhm,
wonders with helping women regulate their hormone. And so with looking at these other diseases, cardiovascular diseases right there,
mhm,
they're looking at diabetes, osteoporosis is right there. So those are some of the main contenders, along with inflammation, because inflammation is in a lot of stuff. It's in cancer, it's in AIDS, it's in lupus, it's in arthritis. So treating the inflammation on top of all of this. So finding a physician that treats menopause,
mhm,
which is sometimes different from your primary care, sometimes different from your OBGYN.
mhm.
So in searching at that, there are a few, but there are clinicians that are out there for women to treat. And again, the symptoms are real. So men that are thinking that these symptoms aren't real, they are real and they can be treated and shouldn't be dismissed. The anxiety is another one. So thank you for bringing that question up to let women know that there is help.
Absolutely. And thank you for letting these men know that this is for real, for real. Women are not just crazy here during this
No.
particular phase in their life. These symptoms are real. But even more, I'm glad that you said that there are specialists, there are menopause specialists. I like
Yes.
to know that. I've never even thought about that, right? That there
Yeah.
are people who are specialized in this particular, service for women. So that's good to know as well that you
Yes.
have someone who, because of our symptoms, everyone's symptoms is so different. So I like that. And I want all the ladies that are listening to hold on to that because it might be something that we need to do when that time comes in our life. Because it, like you said, these symptoms are real. And I didn't realize that during that time that you have that increased level for heart disease or osteoporosis. I didn't even think about that. I'm not even thinking that it's a higher risk during that particular time in your life. Wow. It's
Yeah,
mind-boggling
it's
to me.
all tied together, in such a unique way that when you start to look at the incidence of these things going up higher, it's during that time. It could happen, of course, anywhere before menopause, after menopause, but where
Right.
where do you see the peaks ranging? It is during this time. And one other thing to add to that is
Mm-hmm.
the brain fog. So many of us are familiar with the brain fog that happened with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so well-trained people in their disciplinary, whether they were a physician, ER nurse, air traffic controller, police officer, all of these people that had to react and act quickly. Some of them had to change their job position because of what COVID, did in terms of cognitive brain fog. Some have gotten better, but some it has not, and then some is taking a longer time to do it. But that happens during menopause too. The brain
Interesting.
fog that comes in before the dementia, things like that. And
That's
so again,
interesting.
not everyone will experience it, but enough of them do that they include that in there in terms of the symptoms that happen.
Interesting. Is there anything that women should be doing or eating or taking, even without, let's say, a diagnosis head on? Is there anything that they can do just in general to help?
Yeah. So one of the things that I suggest to people to get on is a low carb, because during that time period, but also foods that reduce inflammation. And I don't have the list in front of me right now, but there are a number of foods that trigger inflammation. And the trigger is the thing that you want to keep your eye on, because inflammation precedes a lot of the conditions and diseases that we
Mm,
have. And so you think, well, what comes first and what comes second? So the inflammation. So inflammatory things. And when I mean inflammatory, that could be for the whole body, that they're inflammatory in the brain, inflammatory in the heart, the
mhm,
other organs, liver, kidney, spleen. So you want to reduce those in there as well. But also to adding to the inflammatory and the low carbs, because of doing that, is looking at the sugar intake that happens during that
mhm.
time. Because we know many people who are on statins, and statins are the drugs that they use to control cholesterol.
Okay.
And so studies have showed that they increase your A1C, by themselves. So they do a beautiful job of lowering your cholesterol, but at the sake of upping up your A1C. So, in doing that, which cholesterol is another thing that goes up during menopause as well, forgot to
Mhm,
mention that one too. You want to look out for those things, because there are a number of people, like that eat well and thought they were doing all the right things, and these things do happen. And so, identifying them early
mhm,
then just calls for more mitigation of what needs to be done um, down the line to keep those things back. But carbs, inflammation, and reduced sugars. And what we mean by that is processed sugars.
mhm.
Processed sugars.
This is a wealth of information. Thank you so much. I know every woman wants to hear this because whether you, the younger women, fine, that's great, but those who are in perimenopause and those who are in menopause, you want to hear this because, like you said, you can do everything well, not realize that certain things in your body can create heart disease. I never put the
Correct.
two together. Or like you said, can increase your A1Cs. And it's like, so this is really, really great information to have, I do appreciate that. Absolutely.
Happy
So
to
I'm
help. Happy to
learning a
share.
lot. Learning a lot tonight. I am loving this. So you are super busy, and we all know just from what you were talking about here tonight. What does self-care look like for you, Dr. Gilroy? What do you do to take care of yourself? I know you eat well. Well, you say you listen to your body, so I do like that. But what else do you do to help make sure that your self-care is taken care of?
So I kind of hit on this early, is that I had to identify what the toxins were,
Yes.
meaning people, environment, whatever that is to you,
Mm-hmm.
that is just, toxic to you. And when I mean by people, they bring out the worst in you, not the best in you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's number one.
Yes.
Getting proper sleep.
Mm.
That is huge
Mm.
for a number, which also happens during menopause as well, where women cannot sleep or sleep enough. So,
Mm.
but that can hinder a lot of stuff health wise when you
Wow.
feel okay. So I make sure I do that. I do exercise. And what I mean by exercise, I try to tell people find something that makes you sweat,
Mm.
that helps you get the
Yes.
toxins out the body. Because we as Americans, we want to work in air condition, work out in air condition, drive in air condition, vacation, be entertained in air condition.
Yes.
When do you sweat? When do we get some toxins out? And toxins have to come out. We urinate, we defecate, we exhale. But that one thing, we don't want to sweat, but we have to get those things out of the body. So that's another one. The one that I haven't increased enough of that I need to is just being able to go get a massage and just put your
Mm.
music, put a candle on, and have that done. But
Nice.
finding joy in other stuff, whether that's just reading. Sometimes people just stretch. I do a lot of stretching, to
Mm.
help with that.
Wow.
I sometimes, as you mentioned earlier, I'll just do just vegetables, something light on the system. So broken down, absorbed, eliminated, keep that going. Your salts, your Epsom salt, those things wonderful to soak in. Baking soda pulls toxins out. Those are positive salts. They pull the negative tissues and things out of the body.
Mm.
So again, there's no silver bullet, but there's a number of things that can help in a situation to keep you calm, to relax you, to bring tranquility. Sometimes that's just listening to music. You put that on very low, and I'll cook with that on. I'll put the TV and music on very low, just to have it in the background. Because the way that and for students that are studying, the way that I would study is
Mm.
that if I couldn't remember it, washing dishes,
Mm.
taking a shower, cleaning up, or driving, that's what I had to study. But if I
Okay.
could remember it doing those things, then I knew I understood it.
Okay.
So, but that's just a sidebar too. But all of the other, that's relaxing and it goes together. And it's at different times. I remember Janet Jackson was asked this question. Um, I bet Michael is your favorite brother to talk to. And she said, well, it depends on what I'm going through. She said, right now it's Jermaine. So for us, finding out what our right thing at this time, it may just be getting the massage. It may just be the exercise, but
Yes.
we have to figure out what that is for us based on all of the signs and signals from around us, our bodies telling us the whisper that we're hearing in the ear.
Yes.
It's all of that that tells you what to do, but more importantly, what not to do.
Interesting. You may not know what you want, but you should know what you don't want. So that's
Correct.
good.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Lots of great, again, great tips for self-care. I love the soaking with the Epsom salt and baking soda. I use baking soda for a lot of other things, but never knew it was good to soak to pull things out. So now I know. Again, love this.
Positive salt pulls out. Yes.
I love this. Awesome. I need to add it to my self-care routine moving forward. We have had, I don't even know what the time is. It doesn't even matter. Great conversation, but you know, we got to wind it down. So I'm going to ask you if there's anything else that you want to leave our listeners with today, anything at all,
Yeah.
before we wrap up.
It goes back to trust.
Mm,
There's a lot of people and a lot of things that we have to put trust into. Part of that is, again, family, but those that work with you, but those that are taking care of you and those that you take care of. That trust factor, building those relationships, encouraging those relationships, that is probably the most important thing around because it is that trust that grounds you. It is that trust that allows you to pick up on things that normally are not said but conveyed if you're
mhm,
watching body language, things like that. And sometimes the answer to those things are in that too. But it's all to me that lingers on the trust and that we have to put in people. And so we love to be trusted and we want others to trust us, with information, with things that we do unconditionally. So
wow.
um, that would be my building thing for businesses. There has to be some trust. You do your homework and knowledge and all of that and research, but
Mhm.
there has to be some point where you have to trust, and use those instincts that are telling you, yes, I can trust you unconditionally. And if there's something that you don't are not comfortable with trusting, to be able to speak to that at that time and do it, and not keep that in the closet, but trust. But
That's
thank you for
interesting.
asking that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've never heard anyone answer it in that manner. Trust. I love that. Because no man is an island.
that's correct.
We all need each other or someone or a couple of someones, depending on what life throws us.
That's it.
Life throws us a lot of lemons,
Yeah,
and we need someone to help catch those things and make some lemonade if we need to, or probably just get rid of them. But we need others. And I love that you said that because it's so important. It's so important, trust.
and it
Trusting in
brings the peace
ourselves,
when
in
you
our
can
instinct.
trust, right? It brings the peace when you can trust.
It
You're living it
does.
there, and it's like,
It
this
does.
this is
Your
what I need.
mind is at
Yes,
peace.
correct. Yeah,
Your mind is at rest. You don't have to worry. They say they got you. You know they got you, and it's done. There's no anxiety there because you're good. So yes,
that's the key
trust.
there. I love that the anxiety is removed. That's a good one. It
Yes,
is.
yes,
Yeah,
it is.
it is gone.
It is. When you have that complete trust in someone, yeah. And for us, we got our trust in our Heavenly Father. We know where our
Always,
trust comes from. Comes from above.
always leading us. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm grateful for that.
yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
unconditional.
Absolutely. We know he got us. Nothing else. We know he got us. But when it comes to humans, yes, we do need to trust others because we cannot be on this journey by ourselves.
No, mm-mm.
Can't do it by ourselves. We need others. So we gotta trust. I don't even want to end this conversation. It has just been so amazing. I hope that you will come on again sometime in the future, maybe after you have rolled out your website and you have a
I would love
place
to.
for, because I always like to say to people, well, how can my guests get in touch with you if they need to? But
Yeah,
I know you're working on that aspect and
correct.
that's
Yeah,
fine. So maybe next time when that's done and it's smooth out, then I can say, hey, have Dr. Bobby back on and he can tell us now with to contact him just in case. But this information is just invaluable. It really, really is. I've learned so much just sitting here with you for the last hour or so and just talking about, cancer, talking about menopause, talking about lifestyle, stress, baking soda for soaking.
yeah.
Just amazing. Just a wealth of information. Like I said, and I know that you are extremely, extremely busy. And we probably been going at it for maybe an hour and a half. I don't even know for sure. But just the fact that you're taking that time and you're passionate. So I know that you can stay here maybe for the next couple of hours just talking about this because you're so passionate about it. And I'm just thankful that I got you and I grabbed you and here we are and we've done
Yeah,
it. And it
yeah.
was just so this information overflow and I just love it. And I know
Well,
if
thank
I
you
am
so
getting so much from it, I know my listeners and everyone else who hears this is also going to get something from this. And that's why I thank you so much for being here and sharing with us your expertise. It's amazing.
much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all of that. And again, it's those that have poured into me, um, from my teachers that have helped classmates along the way, um, my physician and physician scientist friends and coworkers that we talk about and have gotten along the way that are passionate about this as well, because we all at least love someone or something, you know and so having that be with us as long as it can or they can in a healthy format is what we want. And so the sharing of information, just like the knowledge that was shared for me learning. And so when my grandmother say, now that you have found new knowledge, then what do you do with that? She was
Mm.
talking to me, Bobby, what do you do with that? And so that is to share, to bring it out, to help and enhance others that will do it. And then there's some student listening around, some young person that will take that and bring it on to the next level. And that's what these conversations are about, helping people get there to be here healthy as long as they can, as long as their
Absolutely.
assignment continues. That's
I love it. And the
yeah,
journey continues.
Yes, it
The
does.
journey continues because there's so much more to learn. There's so much more to know. This body is such an amazing, amazing artwork that we cannot study this even in our own lifetime. So it's just
We
so
can.
much more to know. So that's the fact that there's more on the journey for you. And I'm excited for you because I know how passionate you are about this. So I'm just whatever that next step is for you, I am also very excited for you for that. Because I know it's going to be amazing and you're going to get to help so many more people. And I think
That's the role.
that's
And thank you again for that because you know how long I've been on it,
yes.
and what I had to do to get there. So thank you for being
Mm.
there, and again for having me here today.
Oh,
It's been a
absolutely.
joy, and I appreciate all of that. So when I'm ready for that next one, I'll let you know, and I will look forward to being back on your platform.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. We are going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comments. If you need to know more about Dr. Bobby, please let me know at a comment and we'll get you that information. See you guys in the next episode. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care and goodbye for now.
Thank you.